Hey guys, Caleb Dennison here. I'm locked inside a room at Samsung's QA Labs in New Jersey, finally getting some deep hands-on and eyes-on time with the beautiful 85-inch 8K QLED television. Now, we first saw this TV at IFA, and when we broke the news, we heard a lot of the same kind of a question. Why 8K? Can you really see the difference over 4K? We just got 4K. Why are the manufacturers doing this to us? Well, we're going to address some of those concerns, but more than that, we want to dive into the TV and find out in earnest how good is this television. And we're going to talk a lot about AI-based upscaling because frankly, there's no 8K content right now, which might not be the big deal that you think it is. So with that in mind, let's dig in. As Samsung's flagship TV, the Q900 has almost all the features you get from its top-tier 4K TV, the Q9FN. That includes the One Connect box you see here, which is a bit larger than you'll see with other Samsung QLEDs. It includes 4 HDMI ports, and HDMI 1 is version 2.1, which means the TV will support one 8K source at up to 30 FPS. 4K support goes up to 60 FPS, but right now this TV does not support variable refresh rate at 4K. You do get VRR at 2K though. The One Connect box links to the TV with this one invisible fiber optic cable. It even carries power to the TV, so when you install it, this is all you have to hide, and you don't even really have to hide it, it kind of just disappears. Around the back of the TV, you'll notice this M-shaped pattern. This is to support Samsung's no-gap wall mount. And because the TV is so big and heavy, it needs to anchor to 2 studs and on 2 places on the TV. Cable management, if you do not wall mount, involves several channels on the back of the TV, so you never see the wire. Just run it off to either side and down the channel found in one of the TV's feet. Speaking of the feet, they are separated to the far sides of the TV, so if you're gonna put this on an entertainment stand or credenza, that furniture is going to need to be seriously wide, just shy of 66 inches by our measurement. The TV's depth is just shy of 1.5 inches, putting it on the thick side of the spectrum, but that's what you need for such a serious direct LED backlight system. I'm told by Samsung, by the way, that the Q900R here offers the same number of local dimming zones as the Q9FN, so about 500. Samsung also told me that in their testing of this calibrated pre-production unit, they were able to achieve 2300 nits with a 10% window, which is more than enough to offer high-impact HDR performance. Once we get a retail sample, we'll be able to verify that, but from observation, we're pretty confident Samsung's number is accurate. What's more important than sheer luminance power though, is the TV's ability to control local dimming. And from what I've seen during a day of testing is that Samsung's local dimming processing has never been better. The company learned from feedback on its Q9FN and is revealing more shadow detail while controlling blooming and offering extremely deep black levels. In fact, in terms of sheer picture quality, the Q900R looks outstanding across the board, but then again, we kind of expected it to. The real reason we're here though is to talk 8K upscaling and native 8K resolution. How effective is it? Do we really need this? Well, let's first address native 8K versus native 4K. Side by side, the difference is clear at this picture size. 8K offers a sense of realism that the 4K image doesn't, and that's because of the higher pixel per inch count. You get a razor-sharp picture with little to no noise, smooth gradations, and smooth edges on curved objects. When 8K content starts coming available, and it will, this TV is going to reproduce it beautifully, and I think people are going to be very excited. But we're a ways out from native 8K being anywhere close to commonly available. We're just getting there now with 4K, and it's taken about 7 years. So upscaling is crucial, and Samsung knows it. That's why it's employing an entirely new kind of upscaling processor, one that uses an extremely complex process to analyze multiple dimensions of a picture's image and is said to offer a higher level of accurate detail than today's standard interpolation-based upscaling. So does it work? Yeah, it does. 4K content upscaled to 8K on this 85-inch 8K TV looks better than 4K content displayed natively on a comparable 82-inch 4K TV. In a side-by-side comparison, the detail was enhanced and less noisy. Samsung was pointing this out to me, but I looked beyond what they were highlighting and showed them areas that I picked out with my naked eye that even they hadn't seen yet. But I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. I'm coming around to the point that I had to study the image carefully to see the differences. They're pretty minute, but they are there. The devil is in the details, and if you focus, you see it. But my main concern was getting the sense of that clarity in aggregate, like from the whole image. And after watching this TV for several hours, I have to say, yeah, it affects the viewing experience as a whole, but only just. More important, I thought, would be how the TV did at upscaling 1080p and even lossier 720p content, like what you get from ESPN through your cable provider. It's funny, we're talking about 8K content support, and ESPN through cable isn't even full HD. Well, I'm pleased to report that the Q900R does a noticeably superior job of upscaling lower resolution content at this big screen size than Samsung's QLED TVs not equipped with the new Quantum AI upscaling chip. And that is super important. What it says is that Samsung's upscaling quality is finally matching up with the screen sizes that really need it. At 85 inches, this 8K upscaling looks significantly better than 4K upscaling. It's sharper, smoother, richer. It's what you expect when watching such a big screen, but it's always been so hard to get until now. So when we talk about 8K and you feel that urge to poo-poo the tech is too far ahead of its time, remember that the display has always led the way in this industry. We're just seeing that happen again. Everything's gonna be okay, all right? So there you have it, folks. The Samsung 85-inch 8K QLED TV is big, bold, beautiful. It's immersive, very expressive, and yes, also very expensive. That reminds me of when 4K first came out. It was very expensive then, and there was no 4K content then either. I think we're looking at the next iteration of that kind of innovation. Samsung is basically opening a door right now, and others will catch up eventually. But I do think it's important to think about how at 85 inches, 8K can pursue a realism that we've not had from TV in the past. So we're looking at the beginning of a rather long road, but I am excited at what this is bringing to the home entertainment industry, and I think that this is a very good first iteration, one of the best TVs I've seen in a long time.